So our next speaker for the day is Shakti Gupta. She is an ICCAP certified agile coach working at Accenture India. She has an experience of 10 years. She evolved from being a Scrum team member, Scrum master, and now she is an agile coach. Shakti teaches, mentors, and coaches various agile frameworks and takes keen interest in helping teams perform better than yesterday. Everything related to continuous learning and improvement inspires Shakti. So, Shakti, welcome you to enlighten us on how we can have the right mindset and to achieve our goals. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you, Bhakti. Hi everyone. Good morning. I hope I'm audible enough.
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, let's go. Um, as I was introduced, I'm Shakti. Thank you all for giving me this opportunity and being here. And it's a great podium to, share each other's experiences. Thank you very much for that. So today I'll be talking about personal agility, right? So we all have been talking about multi-facets of agility, how agility is going to help, raising the kids, how agility is going to help, coaching a team, etc. Right? So the personal agility that I'm going to talk today is not about a framework, is not about a canvas that we are going to fill. It's about understanding what exactly is personal agility, is going to really help us be there. In what space will we be when we travel in this journey of personal agility, right? So I call this an ability more than agility, right? So personal improving your personal agility is going to improve your ability in dealing with your daily things, or in dealing uh, with your challenges, or achieving those goals that you have, right? We all have some goals in our life. So going back to the topic, right, I think my introduction was already over. So what I call myself, like a coach, a servant leader, I like to help people. I like to be with people and see happiness in everyone helping each other, right? So that's the true meaning of servant leader. And I'm traveling towards that journey, and every experience with a team or with a person helps me improve myself, right? So let's take a moment to answer a few questions, right? So what exactly is personal agility? Before that, let's see how much agile are we, right? And there is no end to how much agile we can be, right? We can juggle between 10 things today, we might juggle with 12 things tomorrow. And our potentials are, as we have seen, the human race has been, achieving, our potentials are always to a maximum level, right? So, but we want to strive more, we want to achieve more, right? So how much is needed? This is something that is too personal to each individual. What that individual really cares, what that individual really wants to achieve, right? Based on that, we can decide how much personal agility should we attain, right? So next is why personal agility is needed. So we before we get into how, why, what, and things like that, I think we need to take a moment, right, to understand why personal agility is needed. To explain this, I'd like to take. I think everyone here can identify this personality, right? So she's Oprah Winfrey. So uh, from her life, from her early life, and to where she has reached till date, right? We understand that there are two things that she kept on. There are two things that made her be where she is, right? One is you have a passion, you have a dream, right? You have a big dream. Your dreams are always should be limitless, right? That is one thing. Second thing is, after every failure we get up, we dust our knees, and we we go on to achieve that passion, or achieve that goal, or achieve that where you dream to be, right? So these are the two things that you can notice to be very common in all the role models that we have, whom we think that okay, they have actually achieved something in their life. They have rocked the world, right? So these are the two things that is common, right? So to achieve this, we really need personal agility, which is nothing but, according to me, this is purely based on my experience in engaging with people, my experience with engaging with teams. There are four things that I'll be going to talk about in the upcoming couple of upcoming 20 minutes time. These are some kind of mindset shifts that a person can go through to achieve this personal agility, right? So first is self-awareness, right? So self-awareness is the starting point of this journey, because if we lack self-awareness, we are you can imagine us to be like a adamant kid whom you're getting him ready to school, right? Who doesn't want to get up, you have to wake him up, he doesn't want to brush, you want to brush him, get him ready, pack him, make sure he finishes his breakfast, and then he really gets ready and goes, right? So that's a example that you can take when a person who does not have any awareness of self, a person who does not have any awareness of the surrounding, right? So if we don't achieve self awareness, we in all the feats that we are into, we will be really shooting at the star, but we will be blindfolded, right? We are just blindfolding ourselves, and we are shooting at the star. To talk about one of the aspect of personal self-awareness is, I would like to pick unconscious bias as the as one of the self-awareness topic, right? So we all think that we are not biased. We all think we are empathetic to people around, right? So can I take a small exercise with all of you? Maybe you can just maybe close your eyes for a couple of minutes, and while I narrate a small story, right? So I hope yeah, thank you. So yeah, so on one fine Friday morning, right, my boss comes to me and he says, Shakti, there's an important business meeting. You have to meet the client, right, on Monday morning. You have to reach, say I'm in a city, I'm in Bangalore, right? You have to reach Hyderabad, and you have to make this meeting successful, and this will give us a business opportunity, and he's a potential client of us, right? And that person is a potential client of us, right? So okay, fine. So I take my weekend out, I plan my stuff, and I take the early morning flight to Hyderabad, right? I had to I had to leave home a little early that day, right? So that I reach the early morning flight, right? So while I go, my Uber driver, right, there was a breakdown in the car, and he tries to fix it for me and helps me go through this situation. He books another cab, and he somehow makes sure that I reach on time and I board my flight. Right, so I reach my office. I meet this business tycoon who is our potential customer, right? Who is our potential customer. So I meet that person and I go back. And I retire for the day. I go to a dinner party. There's a small, there's a couple who is celebrating dinner, an anniversary, their wedding anniversary together. And that was a nice evening. And I retire and I take rest. And next day morning, I come back to Bangalore. Right. So now I want everyone to speak up. Right. You can open your eyes. So some questions I have. So it's a quiz. Okay. So maybe you can chat through chat, or you can unmute and you can answer. So first question is, did any of you look at the cab driver, as a person who is having a stud, who is having a tattoo, and who's wearing shorts? Did any of you picture him? He helped me get to the airport quite soon.
No, Shakti, at least in mine, it wasn't like that.
So yeah, we all imagined, okay, a gentleman, nicely dressed up, very polite to me, right? And did any of you imagine the boss to be a woman, the client whom I met to be a woman? Maybe she's really dressed up well and she's there to offer me the business. Not even one person? Yeah, okay. So the last one, the last question is, did any of us imagine that the couple was a gay couple, same-sex couple? No? Yeah, so this is a lesson, right? So unconscious bias, we all have perceptions. We have to agree that we all have perceptions and how we are going to deal with it. So asking questions to ourselves, okay, how did I behave today? Why did I judge this person? So one tip I would give is take some time before you take any decision. We all are in a world where our each decision is going to make an impact to at least a couple of people around us, right? So it's very important we take a step back, we show a mirror to ourselves. Shakti, am I judging this person? Have I already decided that, okay, this is going to fail, and is my approach that way, right? Do I introspect on my behavior, right? So self-awareness is going to really make a big impact in the way we deal with our clients, with the people around us, right? One more suggestion is, if we want to know any questions about our self-awareness, ask our spouse, ask our kids, right? They are the close ones. They see us every day. And you get such interesting comments from them that, Mama, you break your knuckles full day. Mama, you're always angry full day. Or your spouse saying that, okay, in the morning to us, you're always pressurized. You're always, you don't have patience and things like that. These are the things that we are not aware of ourselves, right? We are not at all, we are biased, or we have perception. These are behaviors that people are observing, especially the closed ones who never lied to us. They are the radar for your self-awareness, right? So the next mindset change I would like to go is growth mindset, right? So can anybody guess who she is? So yeah, she's Arunima Sinha. Okay, she's from India. She's the first women amputee who conquered the Mount Everest climb. Right. So growth mindset is something very huge, right? So we all think that we are positive, we all think that we can we don't give up, we don't give in to our traits or characteristics. Okay, I'm a Indian, okay, I'm a Asian, this is what I am, I can't do more than this. Okay, this person is from this native and this is what they're going to do. Okay, an amputee can maximum go for a walk every day, but can't climb a mount, 8,800 kilometers high, Mount Everest. We don't expect them to, conquer such a feat, right? So one tip I got from my, Google research, internet research is a way to handle growth mindset. If you want to be at a space where you want to have, practice growth mindset, then stop asking questions as why, right? Why like this? Why me? Why this situation? Why COVID-19? We didn't expect this, right? So, and start asking, what can I do, right? So, in for all the whys in questions, if you start asking, what can I do? What can happen? What is the best means to tackle this situation? So every why question, if you try to replace with a what question, then you are going towards this growth mindset journey, right? We all go through a lot of hurdles in our life. We all face a lot of challenges on our day-to-day life. Instead of questioning why he did this, so ask, what can I do now, right? For example, in the last 1 year, there are a lot of there are exactly two kind of people in the world. One set of people who is making Dolgeno coffee, who is coming up with all their master chef ideas, knitting, painting, everything, and they know how to deal, right? They have asked this question: what can I do in pandemic? What can I do sitting at home? Right? What can I do to make my family happy? Instead of asking why this situation, right? So that's one of the ways to handle growth mindset. Next is working on things that only matter to us, right? Yes, I agree that there are a lot of high priority activities in your day-to-day life for which you don't see value, but we have to do it, right? So apart from that, if we go back to the day we have spent yesterday, we know that we have spent a lot of time on activities that don't really give us value because we want to maintain the status quo, right? So status quo is nothing but a certain situation, a certain way of dealing. I want to be in Instagram, I want to be in Facebook for 10 minutes or half an hour in a day. Just before I go to my bed, as soon as I get up, I want to use my phone, right? So these are some activities we don't want to change, right? So, but spending, okay, let me tell you that every no that you're going to tell for invaluable task, right? A task or an activity that actually does not provide you any value at all, right? So, going through social media, right? Going through the news about COVID, right? Full day, right? Making fuss about it, right? So this is something that is not going to provide us value, right? So how can we tackle this, right? Because we do that automatically, we don't realize what we are doing, right? So one way to understand is for every no that you say, that for a activity that does not provide you value, you are making room for something that provides you a lot of value, right? For every no, for a YouTuber, for a YouTube binge, right? For 1 hour you go, there is a yes activity where you spend time with your child, where you spend time with your family, where you spend time to learn a new skill, right? So if we start looking at prioritizing in this manner, that for every no there is a valuable S task that you can do, then I think we get that motivation, that kick to say no to something that is not going to give me any value, right? And preserving essentials is always having a MVP, right? Minimum viable product, as we call in the agile world, to your personal self. That in a day or in my life, what is my essentials? What is my essentials? Is it family? Is it career? Is it parents? Is it health? Is it fitness? Is it learning? Is it training? Whatever it is, every person has their own essentials. So preserving these essentials is the key, right? Then we know what activity provides me more value, right? And the last one is innovation mindset. To achieve personal agility, we have to be innovative. We can't omit this point, right? So if you have tackled the first three mindsets that I have discussed about, which is self-awareness, growth mindset, and how to prioritize your things, having practicing essentialism, right? So imagine these are the three balls that this clown is juggling. So the moment you have tackled these three balls, it's time for you to have a space for innovation, right? So innovation, if I take an example in India or I don't know elsewhere, we had Nokia phone, right? So Nokia phone did not adapt Android, did not adapt that screen. That's when we had iPhone, Samsung, or so many other models which came to the market, right? Before that, every individual in India had Nokia, right? But still they could not handle they could not sustain that customer relationship because they failed to be innovative, right? So if we don't be innovative, then somebody else is deciding our fate. Somebody else is deciding what we should do, right? So looking at innovation is more like looking at a change with a new perspective. We all hate change. We have multiple times we have discussed, okay, what is change, how to tackle change, how to understand change, right? So if we are innovative, we ourselves are bringing in change, right? So in a way, you're looking at change in a new perspective. You're looking at change in a positive way. You're looking at change in like something it's going to help us, right? So innovation mindset really is going to is the last feat in this journey of personal agility, right? So I think we all know what are the outcomes or what will be achieved by attaining personal agility, right? So we feel accomplished the moment you prioritize, or you are sorted, you are self-aware. Definitely people are going to trust you, because every 10 minutes or half an hour that you're going to spend on an engagement with a person, with a team, is going to bring a trusting relationship, because that party or the person on the other side knows that you are listening, that your presence, your awareness is completely with him or her, right? So not only coaches, everywhere, I mean, a manager, a new member of the team, a fresher, a college guy, everyone needs to have a trusting relationship with people around them, right? So personal agility is definitely going to bring that trusting relationship. It's going to give a lot of confidence to ourselves. It's going to give us a purpose of why we are doing certain things in a certain manner. Why do I exist, right? As a coach, why Shakti exists, why I want to help people, right? By helping somebody can, bring me some happiness or bring some purpose, right? But if I have to do all this, I have to go through the all the 3-4 things that I have mentioned: self-awareness, growth mindset. If I myself don't lack any of these things, then I can't really, bring in some value to the people around me. So this is the last, the boring slide which I had to show. Personal agility, if you notice till now, is going to change the individual's behavior, right? So once we are having these mindsets, our behavior is going to be impacted, right? So behaviors, as we know, is going to define the culture of an organization, right? So in a world where we all work, right, where we are professionals, so we are going to impact the culture of the organization, culture of the ecosystem, culture of the city we live in, culture of the families we work, we support, right? So, and that's when the great thing starts happening, right? So yeah, I think I'm done. So my last slide is a quote from Gandhi. It says, "Be the change you want to see." Thank you.
Thank you,
I think
Shakti.
I'm done. Any questions?
Thank you. Thank you, Shakti. It's nice to get this message reiterated that it's not just about the tools and practices, but it's more personal than that, actually. So thanks again. And I'm sure, all over here also resonates with them as well. And yeah, we are open for questions now. And if there is any questions or you want to express something to Shakti, you feel free to unmute and yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question, Shakti. What could be the blockers or challenges for this personal agility?
What could be the challenges, right?
Yep.
Okay. The challenges, the only challenge I see is that we don't want to work towards it. We don't have, we don't take the responsibility of ourselves or our life, that we have the capability to define our life the way we want to handle the things, right? That's the only challenge I see. I hope I answered your question.
And I think probably we all are still inspecting and seeing what else we should be doing. I don't see much questions here, but yeah, there is a question from Amol. But okay, I am just reading the question here. If team adopt personal agility, but leader do not adopt personal agility, how would it go for organization or the organization?
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I think the role of coach has become so much demanding in the industry, right? So yeah, definitely it's not going to go good for the organization, definitely, right? So but personal agility of the team is really going to help the leader understand, or slowly he has to change when the team has changed, right? Otherwise we will be otherwise the leader will be left behind. When the team is already onto it, the team knows how to handle them, I think the leader would be left behind. But yeah, definitely it's very important for leadership to adapt personal agility. Only then the change can happen. It has to be a both-sided, two-sided game.
Well, having said that, then my next question to you is then how can you pursue that leader who's like very adamant to adopt this personal agility?
Okay. So I think like Stanka said previously, right, in her session, allow people to fail and show them where they have failed, why they have failed, right? So that's the only way to handle a leader or a person who doesn't want to, move into this space of, growing or helping each other grow. Definitely, they are going to fail, and a lot of time we don't know why we have failed. So the moment the person is shown that why there was a failure is when they will, change.
Thank you, Shakti. I think, yeah, those were the questions we had, and it was great hearing from you.